Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, teaching real well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading his truth and sincerity. Shalom. So in this video, I want to talk about if the Most High be for us, who can be against us, man? Because there might be certain people that try to give you a bad name or put you down amongst people, man. But as long as we remain faithful and truthful to the Heavenly Father, no wicked device that people can try to come up with towards you shall be established. Because right now well, not right now, because next week I'm going to go back to normal shifts. But the last couple of weeks, I used to share my van with his colleague, and what he would used to do is he would leave his toolbox in the van, because we all have our own toolbox, man, our own tools. So what he would do is he would leave his toolbox in the van, and this one day, he sent me a picture on WhatsApp, and he showed me that he had a screwdriver in his hand, and he said, I have a new one of this one. Where is it? I told him I don't know. And then I told him very directly, like, this is the reason that I take my toolbox with me, home, because I don't want this kind of bullshit to happen, man. That's also one of the reasons that I don't like, to share my toolbox with other people, because you never know, who is the one that loses certain tools, man. Because if you're busy, man, you might forget certain things, and then you lose it, and they don't know, where you lost it and things. So in order to, make sure that these things don't happen, I just take my toolbox with me towards home, man. And one day I went to sit with my employer, because there was a couple of things that I had to discuss concerning a presentation that I had to make for school, because I basically do I go to school for my job in order to become a first mechanic instead of an assistant. So I had to compile a presentation, for yesterday, and give part of the basically do a preview, for one of the teachers. And when I was in the office, certain things were discussed, and also the subject came about concerning me sharing the van and things like that, and that he sent me this picture, with a screwdriver, man. And then he also went to the employer, and he basically laid down like, hey, I take my toolbox with me towards home, this, that, and the third. And then I heard my employer, tell me that he told him that what I did is actually a good thing. It was actually a good thing that I do that, because that shows my employer that I take care of my tools, that I value the tools that I have been given, and that I take care of them. And because when I got my toolbox, I made extra compartments with these gray pipes to make sure that I can put my screwdrivers away, very nicely, man. But if I compare my toolbox to the toolbox of these other mechanics, their toolboxes are a mess, man. A chaotic, piece of tools, man. While I go and try to fetch a tool in my toolbox, I can just find it easily, man. I know where everything is stashed. So then he told me that he told the colleague, like, hey, what he did is actually a good thing, man. And instead of going to the employer for things, man. This guy should just, go towards me with these small petty things, man. Instead of going behind my back and then let my employer, come towards me and ask all these questions, man. It's nonsense, man. It's nonsense. So yeah, he tried to give me a bad name, but eventually, that did not work. But that's a beautiful thing, man. And I was very confident in the fact that I did not have a screwdriver, so I did not worry about anything, man. And that's also something that we need to, basically, get into our thick brain or thick skull, whatever the saying is. It's like, hey, if you know that you did nothing wrong, there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be terrified of, man. Because you did nothing wrong, man. You did not take his, in my case, you did not take a screwdriver, which that would be theft. He's trying to give you a bad name by saying that you took it and that you take your your toolbox home. Yeah, man. The only thing that I did is I moved this toolbox, man. Moved it towards these, towards the front, because then I have more space, for movement, man, in the van. So yeah, this is Romans 8:31, and it says, "What shall we say then to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us?" So the Most High is backing us up, taking care of us and protecting us in all ways. They really think that, people that are come up with lies and wicked devices to bring it down, that their, plan is going to succeed. You're out of your goddamn mind, man. You're out of your mind, man. Because the Most High is for you, man. Nobody can come up against you, man. Look at King David, man, when he was facing Goliath. Goliath did not stand a chance, man. Even though Goliath was an actual giant with a very huge sword, King David, brought him down, man, with a very small weapon. A slingshot, basically. That also shows you that even if your faith is small towards the Heavenly Father, but you remain faithful, if you have faith as a mustard seed, man, you can say to this mountain, move, and it shall move hence to yonder, man. You see? But our purpose, our desire is to grow in faith in this truth, man. Our desire, man, the Most High is building me up in these, in these specific times that we're in right now, and move me with confidence, through life. Standing firm in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And an example that we can grab from the scriptures, which I also have in deck, is Mordecai, man. Mordecai in the book of Esther. Because Mordecai, he was a Israelite. If I'm correct, he was from the tribe of Benjamin. But I cannot recollect that, right now. But he was an Israelite. That's the point. And he had in some shape or form, he had an adopted daughter, man. He basically took care of, someone else's daughter, which that, is Esther, whose, actual name, was Hadassah. And Mordecai, he was also, present. He was among, the king's court, and among those that were, among the king's court, we also had Haman, which was an Amalekite. And at a certain moment, Haman, he was, given a certain position which was higher than the rest. But Mordecai did not bow down, and referenced him for the position that he was in. And that caused, a lot of anger and strife, from Haman towards Mordecai, man. So much so that Haman, devised to bring Mordecai down, man, trying to put him to death by hanging him, man. And then also, taking down our people with him that were on the subjection, underneath the Medo-Persian rule, man. So this is Esther chapter 9 verse 24, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which means that he is an Amalekite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pur, that is the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. You see, because Haman, he saw, that our people did not keep the laws, of the king of Media Persia, man. We kept our own laws, man. That was given unto us by our power, man. By Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man, through the hands of Moses. In that way, he sought, to cause strife between the king and our people, man. Which, the king at first consented to his plan, but later on, Esther was put in her position by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, told the king of the plan that Haman had devised towards her people and our people, trying to put a stop towards that plan, man. That's also why the Most High raised up Esther or Hadassah for her position, man. Because the first wife of the king, she was put out of position because she was not obedient to the king, man, to his commandment to show herself forth, man. So Esther was set up to save her people. This is verse 25. That when Esther came before the king, he commanded by ladders that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows, man. So Esther informed the king of the plan that Haman had, man, devised against Mordecai and against her people. And what happened eventually? The king, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, allowed that plan to fail and fall upon the head of Haman and those that were consented unto Haman, man. And that's what I mean. Those that tried to put you down, and meanwhile you're faithful and truthful, you try to walk as righteous as possible in life. If people try to bring you down, man, the Most High is not down with that, man. He's gonna bring it upon their own head, man. Because now this man, he accused me of a certain thing which I did not do. I don't know what he's gonna be esteemed as in the eyes of my employer, man. I don't know. But that's the thing, man. Things will fall upon your own head if you try to do something to someone else, man. In wickedness. Bringing someone an ill name. Which is not even accordingly. This is Sirach chapter 27, verse 26. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. So if you try to come up with a plan, to harm someone else in what form, way, shape, or fashion, it's going to be you yourself that's going to be caught up therein, man. You're going to be taken in your own plan. It's going to be recompensed unto you, man. And what's going to happen with that other person? Hey, he might be, he might be exalted, man, above you. Because he did everything, as he could to the best of her ability and truth and sincerity, man. But you try to come up with wicked devices, man. Try to climb the ladder with wickedness, man. The Most High ain't down with that. Even the scriptures talk about how certain kingdoms, how kingdoms are translated from one, king to another, man. You see? Because the throne is established by righteousness, man. And if the throne is not established by righteousness, it shall not last, man, nor stand. Hey, so your Artizan, man, this video was edifying, man. And remind yourself, man, if the Most High be for you, man, who can be against you, man? So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, Teacher Ruel, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading this truth in sincerity. Shalom.